I'm going to give it a 4.
It doesn't matter how you feel.
3 for Brock and Roman.
You there, sitting at home. Acknowledge me.
And 1 star gets added on for Paul Heyman. For me, and I'm new, I know.
What?
But Paul Heyman makes this whole feud possible. He comes close, he's like, yes, my tribal chief. He's like, I'm with you, you can do this.
Paul Heyman's a very underrated guy.
Love it.
Wait.
1, 2.
There's 2 now.
It doesn't matter if the Rock holds the string.
Let's quickly run through WrestleMania
One-handed,
night
no-handed.
2. First, we have RK Bro against the Alpha Academy against the Street Profits. Now, I didn't think Street Profits had a chance of winning. I don't think they had any build or any momentum going in towards it. Alpha Academy, I thought might or could have won because, you know, they were champion before, but deep down I knew, or at least 80% I felt that there's no way RK Bro were going to leave without the tag titles. And RK Bro won. And I think that was a right decision. And they opened the show, or opened night 2, got the W, really fun, packed match with a lot of spots and a lot of reversals. Montez, for me, he's made for WrestleMania. A lot of crazy leaps and jumps, as he always does. And yeah, it was a really fun match to kick off night 2.
Yeah, it was good. I liked the little bit at the end where Montez was like, let's have a celebratory drink, and the other Gable,
Yeah, the Olympic, the one who won the medals, yeah.
Yes, and I was thinking he built up because the day before he came out and he didn't speak and he just kind of was standing there, and then the next day he came out and he actually started to talk and get involved and get in the ring and stuff. So yeah, that was cool.
We might see him on WWE programming sooner rather than later. Who knows? You know, Chad Gable, what he's doing right now is so funny. It's so fun, and I can tell he's having a blast. Randy is having fun as well. It's probably the most fun I've seen Randy have in a long time.
Yeah.
The RKOs that they did, just amazing. Yeah, like I said, fun match. I'd give it 3.5 stars.
Yeah, you know what?
Out of 5, obviously.
I was going to say 3.5, but you know what? I'm going to bump it up to a 4 because I think Montez took a RKO from like the top rope or something. I think that's like the highest RK Bro I've ever seen happen, like the drop.
Yeah.
And my heart always goes, woo, when Montez jumps because I'm thinking this guy jumps high. So yeah, the whole thing was great. And I did think RK Bro would retain.
Yeah. I don't think RK Bro were in danger of losing their titles. So then we had Bobby Lashley against Omos. Now, I thought this match was okay. It wasn't great. He had a big feel about it because it was 2 giants wrestling. But the actual match itself, if I'm being totally honest, it wasn't that great. It wasn't. I still think Omos, even though he's big and he's not going to, do a 450 splash from the top rope or anything like that, and he's not going to be the most flexible guy doing splits, I still think he's a bit green, and that's a problem. So I think the match just suffered. I really do. I'm glad seeing Bobby as a babyface now rather than a heel. I think a lot of people are getting behind Bobby more and more, and this match will only further build him as a babyface. So it's good to see Bobby win at WrestleMania in front of all those people. But for me, the match wasn't that great, and I would give it 2.5 stars, which is okay. But for WrestleMania, I want more than just 2.5 out of 5 stars. I want 3, 4, 5 stars. This is WrestleMania. It's still fun to see how small Bobby is compared to Omos.
Yeah.
And to see Bobby get thrown around like a rag doll, I was thinking, this is weird to experience.
Yeah, I think I was thinking the same thing during the match because normally Bobby is one of the bigger or one of the more formidable opponents in any ring. So to have him up against Omos, yeah. And I agree, even as kind of new to watching wrestling, you can tell that Omos needs more time to develop and more time to build a repertoire of moves. It was definitely really good to see Bobby back because I was expecting him to be out maybe even for longer with his injury.
Yeah.
So that was a great surprise. And I get
Johnny Knoxville versus Sami Bloody Zayn. I love Sami Zayn. He's such a weird, quirky character. He's such a fun character. You know, he brings so much to the WWE. And just like his buddy Kevin Owens, he's amazing on the microphone.
Yeah.
On the microphone, those two are two of the best. Let's be real. Let's be honest. He, once again, sold this match. I was looking forward to this match. I knew it was going to be fun. I knew it was going to be absolutely crazy. I have to say, there were some points in the match where I was thinking, this is just awkward because I tell you what it is. It's because it's come after such a gruesome match and we've just seen nothing but wrestling matches. So to see this silly match, I felt like I had to readjust my wrestling brain to accept the fact that we're not going to see wrestling or anything like that, and we're going to see the most stupidest things.
Yeah.
So I had to appreciate that, if that made any sense. And that's what we got. I knew this was going to happen. The Jackass guys were going to interfere and we're going to get crazy stunts, crazy spots, stupid little things, silly little things. Some of it was a bit cringe, if I'm being honest. Some of it was a bit, what? WWE, don't do that. But then some of it was just, this is... Am I entertained? Yes.
Yeah.
Is this great wrestling? Of course not. But I am bloody entertained. So, Johnny Knoxville, Sami Zayn, from the build, all the stupidness with the phones and the premieres to the match itself and Wee Man coming in and all these little things. It was just crazy. So I would give that match, I had fun. I'd give it 4 stars.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'd give it 4 stars.
I get that. Yeah. I think I would give it the same. Yeah, I'd give it the same. I'd give it a 4 out of 5 for the same reason. The wrestling's, it wasn't really wrestling heavy, but it was fun. And Sami pulled it all together. I mean, Sami was doing so much selling. I almost feel like he was on par with how much selling Kev Owens had to do.
Those two are... WWE have... those two are great. Yeah, I agree.
Sami's one of my favourite wrestlers just on the roster. His mic, like you said, mic work is incredible. The little VT they had with him, like people calling his phone and his acting, like he is just fantastic. Like, I want to see more of Sami.
I appreciate Sami. Great match. So I was entertained. It was fun. Really, really fun to see Johnny in the wrestling ring doing all these stupid things like rat traps, mouse traps and whatever. But yeah, good stuff. Let's move on. Next, we have the women's 4-way tag match. Queen Zelina and Carmella against Sasha Banks and Naomi, against Liv Morgan and Rhea, against Natalya and Shayna Baszler. This was slowly put together over about 2-3 weeks before WrestleMania. So there weren't any rivalries. There's no animosity between the teams. There's nothing personal here. So it was literally just 4 teams wanting to win the tag titles. And the build for this match clearly wasn't as good. Let's be honest. But it was a fun match. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed Sasha Banks' entrance with Naomi. It was really, really fun to see, you know. And the ladies, they did their best with what they had to work with, I think. It wasn't the greatest match on the night, but there were some decent spots, some really good back and forth. The ladies looked amazing. Their outfits were just incredible. All of them, actually, looked really good.
Yeah.
Out of 5 stars, I would probably give it 3.5 stars out of 5. I love the fact that Sasha Banks has finally got her win at WrestleMania. She's been working her socks off and she's not had a win at WrestleMania despite having so many matches. So she finally got her win with Naomi together. I'm over the moon about that. I think that was the right call.
Yeah.
I think they can bring prestige and they can make the belt mean something again, those two. Give it to them for a year. Give Bianca Belair the belt for a year and let's see what happens, you know.
Yeah, I would give that match 4 out of 5, just slightly higher. The reason being that I'm quite invested in the tag team duo. I know it's quite a new tag team, but I really like the pairing of Naomi and Sasha. I think they work really well together. I love the coordination of the outfits. They already feel like a tag team rather than, you know, the way Rhea's been put together now with Liv and before she was put together with Nikki Ash. These guys have already got chemistry. Like moves together, chemistry together, outfits, legit boss, legit glow.
Yeah.
They're really thinking about it.
But yeah, I agree. I think, but Naomi and Sasha already have that chemistry. They've been in WWE together. So that bond is clear, and they look like a tag team.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, but honourable mentions definitely goes to Shayna Baszler and Natalya. They always put on a great show. They're both really great wrestlers and...
Good professionals.
Yeah, Shayna looked great. Her outfit and her makeup, Shayna looked amazing as well.
She did, I agree. Then we had AJ Styles versus Edge. Decent build. You got Edge turning heel before WrestleMania. All that blue lighting and all that cryptic talking that he's doing. Nobody knows what he's talking about. He had to beat up AJ Styles to bring out the best AJ Styles or whatever he wants to use to justify whatever he did. That was cool. We had a different side of Edge. And during my childhood, I'm used to seeing Edge as a heel more than a face anyway. So I'm fine with that. The build was decent, good build. A lot of people have wanted to see AJ Styles versus Edge for a long time, including myself. So I was really looking forward to this one. It was a really fun match. I loved Edge's entrance with the fire. It started off slowly. It's a slow, sort of methodical match. It did pick up pace later on, but you can tell that it's the first out of maybe 2 or 3 matches. For some reason, AJ Styles' head was cut before the match started, which was a bit weird. I don't know how he cut his head, but it was a really good match. When it got going, a lot of near falls, once again, a lot of back and forth. And Edge got the win because Damian Priest came in and interfered. So what's that all about? Damian Priest and Edge? What is happening there? What's going on? Because if WWE are going down the route of the factions, I'm all for it. It's time to team up and beat people up. Why not? So if you're going to have, start factions again, because obviously Roman Reigns has got his squad, New Day got their squad, teams here and there. I'm all for that. But really good match between those two. It lived up to my expectation. It didn't surpass my expectation. I would give that match 4 stars. Just about. I mean, if I'm being serious, it would probably get 3 3/4 because I know they've got more. I know they can do better. But yeah, for the purpose of this video, I'll give this match 4 stars.
Okay. Yeah, I'm kind of going between 3 and 4, only because I know, like you said, that both of these guys, like as they continue working together, the match's quality is going to go even higher and higher. But I'm also leaning towards the 4 because I really like AJ. Like, as a wrestler, I love his wrestling style. I love his moves. The Styles Clash, the
Phenomenal Forearm.
I like his moves. I like his style. But I also, like, Edge has grown on me. But I'm used to the face Edge because I've only really known Edge in this era.
You've only started watching wrestling now, so you don't know Edge.
So I'm looking forward to seeing the heel Edge because I could tell from the old footage that he's a bit of a... He's definitely like a fun heel.
Edge also knows what he's doing on the microphone.
Yes.
Like, he can cut a damn promo.
Yeah.
But yeah, good stuff. Great match between those two.
Yeah.
It delivered.
Yeah, and I want to see more. That's what's important. Like, I actually want to see them fight again. Like, if they had a match straight at WrestleMania Backlash, I'd be all up for it.
Next, we have New Day versus Ridge Holland and Sheamus. Now, this match was originally meant to be on night 1, but it got cut, and everyone online was like, oh my God, it's got cut. How can Vince do this? Then it got rescheduled to night 2. However, they still only got, I think, about maybe 5 or 10 minutes in the ring, which was a bit disappointing. But at the same time, once again, this one didn't have a great build behind it either. And if I'm being honest, if this one was totally cut from the card altogether, I don't think it would have made that much of a difference, if I'm being honest. It was just so quick. I don't even know if I can really rate it or rank it. I think I mean, if you're going to put them on a card, give them 10 minutes. Or just don't do it and just make it the main event on Monday Night Raw. Or I don't know, or something. They deserve better. But I can't... It's hard to rate this match because it was so quick. But I didn't enjoy it. The only thing I enjoyed was Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods coming out and paying homage to Biggie. Yeah. With their costumes. The match was way too quick. It was a squash. If I had to rate it, it would be below average. It would be below 2.5. It would be like a 2. 2 stars, if I'm being honest, out of 5. What do you think?
Yeah, I don't feel I can rate it because it was so short. But the storytelling behind, like you said, there hasn't been much of a build-up. And also, I was thinking it's kind of like you've got to do better with the distastefulness of the fact that it's because of Rich Holland that Big E's out at the moment.
Maybe it would have been better if it was actually cut. Because this didn't... How do you continue this feud now? You can, but I don't know. Pat McAfee versus Austin Theory. It was fun.
Yeah.
Once again, it was fun. The build for this was good. I enjoyed the build. It wasn't serious. It wasn't like, I'm going to kill you and I'm going to kill you. It was literally, this guy's annoying.
Yeah.
He's, the chosen one by Vince McMahon. He thinks he's the best. I want to knock him out. It was just very simple. Pat is really good. Pat's really good on the mic. He's a really good commentator. We love his energy.
Yeah.
I think he's one of the best things to happen to WWE for a long time in terms of the commentary department. He is gold. He's really, really good.
Yeah.
So, yeah, the build for this was really good. Anything involving Vince McMahon always makes it feel more important. And Austin Theory plays a dick very well.
Yeah.
Very, very well. So we had Pat McAfee come out. The crowd responded to him amazingly. The cheerleaders, the energy. He was just working the crowd and his entrance was really, really good. I'm not really surprised, but the match was fun.
Yeah.
It was a fun match. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was. It definitely was a fun match. I think I preferred another match with Pat McAfee. I thought the Pat versus Vince was even better than... I know it sounds silly, but the whole sort of... that was fun. Same as you, I enjoyed seeing Pat get in the ring and do his wrestling thing. And I would be actually curious to see him do a bit more wrestling. Yeah. So I'm interested to see how they're going to move forward. Like, how much is he going to be on commentary? How much is he going to be in the ring? Was it a one-time thing for WrestleMania?
Yeah, I mean, I honestly didn't know what to expect from the match. But like I said, I was pleasantly surprised. Pat McAfee gave it. Vince was there sitting, observing everything. The thing is, the crowd made it. The crowd was so involved with this one. I was surprised how much the crowd were actually involved in a lot of these matches. Yeah, it was really good. It was a spectacle. As a spectacle as a whole, the energy, I mean, how much fun I had watching it. I would give this one a 3.5 stars. When you include everything else. Mm-hmm. The whole spectacle.
Yeah. Okay.
Not just the wrestling.
I would give it a 3.
Yeah?
Yeah. I thought it was fun, but it's not the most memorable Pat moment of the weekend. There are other more memorable Pat moments, which I don't know if that was his ultimate aim.
I'm not quite sure how to talk about the Vince Pat McAfee match because it was almost with the Austin Theory Pat McAfee match.
Yeah.
Almost like one whole match together, you know. But it's hard to talk about that match because it was it was a terrible match. It was a terrible match, but it was fun at the same time. I don't think I'm going to rate this match because it wasn't really a match. It was just a segment for me.
Yeah.
I thought it was silly just seeing this old man literally beat up this big, strong, middle-aged guy. Pat was selling too much. Some of the times Vince was nowhere near Pat, and Pat was just throwing himself into the turnbuckles and whatnot. I was thinking, oh, this is a bit cringe. But once again, I had fun. It was fun. And for me, if Stone Cold didn't come out and do what he did, then for me, that segment would have been a disaster. This old man was making Pat McAfee fly at 100 miles like he was getting punched by the Incredible Hulk. And I was like, oh. And then glass break, Stone Cold Steve Austin. I was like, oh, Stone Cold. But yeah, I think that had to happen. And that saved the segment. Stone Cold coming out and stunning Vince.
Yeah.
That was the worst stunner I've seen ever.
It was the worst. It was the best worst stunner of all time.
WWE can get away with it, like I said, because if I was rating this seriously, treating this seriously, it would be terrible. But you can't look at it like that because it's just fun. It's Stone Cold. It's these old legends entertaining us for the very last time, So you kind of have to look at it differently and just appreciate the fact that these guys are still around. And the nostalgia was just immense there. But taking that stunner, he looked silly, but it was fun. Pat McAfee taking the stunner looked amazing.
Yes.
The whole segment was just silly. So silly and so crazy.
I really liked it. I've actually been enjoying that. Like recently, Vince did a interview. So I actually quite enjoy seeing Vince at the moment because he's normally like behind the scenes. You don't really see much of him. So I thought it was fun. I was a bit like, oh, I hope he's okay. He's like, what's it called?
Clothesline.
He's clotheslining people, and I'm loving it. And I'm not gonna lie, he has got some muscle. Like you can't even. But
old man is
for a man of his age,
he's okay. He looks good.
Yeah, doesn't he work out every day?
Yeah.
He said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But a part of me was a bit like when Austin stunned Vince, I heard a little bit of boos in the crowd because we all enjoyed it. But Vince is still old man, so part of me was like, oh, Austin, no, don't stun this old man. Don't do it. You know? Just like when Sami Zayn kicked Wee Man, yeah.
No, yeah.
The
crowd booed.
The crowd booed him. I thought to myself, listen, Wee Man, if you want to come to my wrestling ring, you better get ready to be kicked in the face. Whether you're 2 foot or whether you're 10 foot.
Wee Man's a badass. Wee Man's, yeah.
But yeah, great segment, Vince, Austin, both Austins.
Yeah.
And Pat, it was fun, man. It was fun to see that.
Yeah, I agree. Fun. And again, even in that whole segment, I think for me, what I really liked was seeing Steve Austin was like laughing and enjoying
He was having
it. You
fun.
don't get to see like characters break kayfabe typically in wrestling. And Pat gave some of the best memes of the night.
Legendary.
Didn't he take a stunner and spit the beer as he fell? It looks so good.
To get stunned by Steve Austin now is a privilege.
Yes, let's all queue
The
up.
punishment is a privilege.
In fact, you know what? You know who we forgot? Byron. He got stunned the night before.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
He was the last stun of night one. Steve Austin.
Go down in history.
Yeah.
Bet. Let's move on, guys. We are here. The main event, the biggest main event in WrestleMania history.
Got 15 minutes.
But we knew it wasn't going to be a long match. Roman Reigns, Brock Lesnar don't put on long matches. And, I mean, if we're going to be realistic, why would they? They're heavyweights. Like, couple punches, couple F5s, you're out, you know. And they're not Edge and AJ Styles. They're not going to put on a 20-minute classic or anything like that. But the build for this is interesting because Roman Reigns has faced Brock Lesnar so many times. I think the only reason why this was so anticipated is because of the unification of the titles. If this was just another WrestleMania main event for the Universal title, it would be like, meh.
We've seen it before.
But the unification of the belts just gave this such a big feel. These two are the top of their games. The promos that have been built all the way, to be honest, for the whole year. It's just been amazing. It's been really, really good work from the WWE. From both men. Roman Reigns is on the run of his life, probably the run of his career. He looks so comfortable as a tribal chief. They put a lot of effort behind him and it's worked, it's paid off, he's having fun. Brock is a face, Brock is having fun, and they did well to make a match that nobody really wanted to see anticipated. You know, they did really well to make you want to watch that match, even though we've seen it 100 times.
Yeah.
Well done. So yeah, the match itself was really, really good. It wasn't amazing for me, but the match didn't need to be amazing because the stakes were so high.
Yeah.
What's going to be the landscape now that the belt has been unified? Does Roman appear both on SmackDown and Raw? That's one less belt for people to challenge. So does that elevate the USA and Intercontinental titles a bit more? So I would give this match a 4 stars. It was a really good match. The build was really good. And I'm looking forward to see what Roman does next. What does Brock do next?
I'm going to give it a 4. 3 for Brock and Roman combined, and 1 star gets added on for Paul Heyman. Because for me, and I'm new, I know, but Paul Heyman makes this whole feud possible. He has been the key element. He's been jumping between the two throughout the year. even in there, he was like, I love you, I want to come back to you. To Brock in the middle of the match. And I'm thinking, how's that going to play out? What's the repercussions from the tribal chief? You can't be like, but clearly you've got a man who's torn, he loves both these guys, he's worked with and for both these guys. So I wonder where that's going to take, where the storyline goes from there.
Very underrated comment. I think Paul Heyman has been the glue that's glued it together. Whenever Roman's struggling in his promo, he usually looks at Paul. And
he does.
Paul usually gives him some sort of support.
100.
Or Paul might take the mic from him. And
he comes close to him, he's like, yes, my tribal chief. And he gets like, he's like, I'm with you, like, you can do this.
Paul Heyman's a very underrated guy.
Love it.
He's probably, I know I've spoken about Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn on the microphone, but Paul Heyman on the microphone is a beast. A beast. He's one of those guys you can't do the what chance to, because he will shut you down.
Yeah.
No-handed.
He does, and he does.
Yeah, he does. But great. Titles have been unified. It's the end of a chapter. Years and years and years in the making. Yeah, it delivered. It met my expectation. As a whole, WrestleMania 38 was a success. There were some duds, some matches that probably shouldn't have been on the card, but there were a lot of surprises. A lot of the matches were better than we expected.
Yeah.
And I think they used the word stupendous correctly, because there were so many stupid things.
Yeah.
Like the Sami Zayn match and, you know, the Austin Theory stuff. It was stupendous. It really was. Great stuff, WWE. When WWE want to, they can entertain us. And I was entertained.
Yeah.
I enjoyed myself.
I was hella sports entertained.
Hella.
A helluva kick. Listen.
Hell of a kick.
As somebody coming new to WWE, I love all the names of all these.
Disarm her.
The women's right, who's got all these
right.
different names of these moves. I love it. The big ending.
All these things. Anyway, are we going to rank the WrestleMania out of 5?
Yeah.
Out of 5, I would give this pay-per-view 4.5 stars. And it's weird because there were some matches that weren't good. Just because there were some matches that weren't good, it doesn't mean it was not an almost near perfect pay-per-view. Mm-hmm. If that makes any sense, guys. Some of the wrestling wasn't great, but I still had fun. And I think that's what WWE say. We don't have to give you good wrestling for you to enjoy the product. We just want to entertain you, you know? So yeah, 4.5 stars, I'd give the whole thing.
If I had to rate them individually, I would be giving night 1 5, night 2 4, and it gives that sort of like 4.5 overall. And for me, it's the best WrestleMania I've ever seen, and I've only seen 3.
Yeah, and it was definitely better than last year's one. Last year's one was okay, it was good, but I mean, this one was better than last year's one. It was. Let's be honest, guys. It was. From Austin coming back to Triple H, even being like, it's because it made us feel good.
I think there was something in there for everyone, and there was something to connect to in there for everyone, because it was emotional. I was actually I cried at certain points. I was like, this is amazing.
They got you. They got you in the feels, man. They got you in the feels.
Yeah, they
well
did.
Well done, WWE. We had fun. It was a great WrestleMania. What do you think, guys? What did you guys think of the matches? Let us know which one was your favourite. How many stars you'd give it out of 5? WrestleMania Night 1, WrestleMania Night 2, the whole thing. Whatever. Let us know your thoughts. If you agree with anything that we said, if you strongly disagree with anything that we said, just let us know.
Yeah.
Comment below. We'd love to hear your opinions.
You want my comments? What?
We do watch wrestling. We watch a lot of things and we have opinions on a lot of things.
Yeah.
So we just like to chat, talk, converse, and all that shizzle, shazzle, bizzle, bazzle. There we go, guys. Smash the like. Turn on your notifications, and if you like what you hear and see, subscribe below for more content like this.
You got time for me to tell you a story? I'm going to tell you a story right now. A story about a man named Stone Cold Steve Austin, who rolled into Dallas, Texas last night. And when I rolled into Dallas, Texas, I was real thirsty.